All right, friends and family, welcome back to week 3. This week we're going to discuss the different types of treatment that I'm on, why I'm not doing conventional chemotherapy, and what the hell is immunotherapy. In the meantime, here's an intro. So what the oncologists will do when they decide which sort of treatment they're going to recommend for you, they basically take your case, very specific to you, they put it forward to what they call a conference. At this conference, they get a panel of experts. So the panel of experts will review all the information that they have, including the information from the past instance that I went through cancer. They'll also touch base on what the best available options are now, considering that the system has metastasized. So a lot of people have asked me, when do you start chemotherapy? Funnily enough, I'm not actually going to be doing chemotherapy at this point in time. I've been put on to what they call a clinical trial. And that was the output of this conference that my oncologist went through with the panel of experts. So they decided basically that considering my case, my age, my circumstance, it'd be much better off trying to get myself onto this clinical trial for immunotherapy. Now, chemotherapy and immunotherapy are quite different. Chemotherapy basically attacks cells that are rapidly dividing and growing. Now, that can mean it takes healthy cells as well as bad cells. Now, obviously there's some downsides to that, and there are some certain side effects. I went through chemotherapy in 2017 and quite familiar with some of the side effects for that particular type, but I think one thing that people aren't quite aware of as well is that there are many different types of chemotherapies. Chemotherapy will have different effects for different types of cancers, and chemotherapy will have different effects in terms of hair loss, side effects, nausea, pain. It can vary quite drastically from cancer to cancer. So don't just assume that all chemotherapies are the same. So immunotherapy has been around for over a century, and it's only really sort of caught mainstream traction in the last 5 years, and I think the first trial for the particular drug that I'm on only was approved in Japan in about 2014, so it's still pretty fresh and quite new. It has been proven as a technology that has helped some people, so what they'll do with me is they'll try this for a number of months, check the reactions from the CT scans and the MRIs, and see how the body responds. If it's responding favorably, they'll continue going. If not, they'll change tact. The clinical trial that I'm on basically has a number of criteria that I needed to satisfy. The main one was a particular Pol E or Pol D variant in my tumor. Now, they did the tests and determined that I am eligible, which is fantastic. This was actually before they found the metastasized brain instance. So that threatened to throw a little bit of a spanner in the works, and things got delayed probably about a month while they did the radiation. But all they needed to do, thankfully, was to just get the brain mets stabilized before they started the immunotherapy. So what is immunotherapy? Immunotherapy is essentially a therapy that engages your own immune system and gives it better tools to attack the cancer. The drugs that they introduce basically take the brakes off your own immune system and allows them to better identify the cancer cells while they're searching through your body, trying to do their job of keeping your body healthy. The clinical trial I'm on basically has 2 arms. Both arms contain a drug called nivolumab, and the second arm has another drug combo called ipilimumab. I got randomized into the first group, which is basically the nivolumab only, and I'll be getting that every 2 weeks, and I'll be getting a 240 milligram dose at that point in time. I'll be doing bloods before and afterwards, and they monitor me quite closely. After 2 months, they're going to do a CT scan, I believe, and they'll check on the progress. They generally won't make a decision after the first CT scan because there might be a chance that things might actually inflame a little bit, and they generally give it sort of 2 chances or 2 CTs before they actually make a decision as to whether or not this is actually making any benefit or change to my cancer situation. My understanding is that the immunotherapy is actually extremely expensive, so if I tried to do this through a different doctor, it would probably cost me an absolute arm and a leg, and I wouldn't be able to afford it because I think it's something crazy like $10,000 a session and would have just blown me out of the water. So Very excited to be on this trial and give this a chance, and glad that we're trying something different other than just straight up chemotherapy. As you guys know, I'm trying everything else under the sun as well. Within reason, the trial's a little restrictive on what they allow me to do, but I'm doing everything from a mind-body perspective. In another episode, I'm going to talk about mindset, which I know a few people have asked me about, and we'll also be talking about diet and what I'm doing there. So what I've done is, if anyone wants to learn a little bit more about immunotherapy and how it works, I've actually thrown a link just below in the comments section. Just another YouTube channel or another YouTube video that basically gives you a little bit more of a rundown as to how it actually works in a bit more detail. I did a podcast with a guy from The Chief Life, Matty, who's an absolute beautiful man. So I put a link to that below as well if you want to check it out. And obviously, if you haven't, please like and subscribe. Share to anyone who you think might be interested in this journey. And look forward to seeing you in my next video. Thanks, guys.